I had an idea of what my UFC success would look like. It just blows out of the water what I was expecting.
I am here with Dana White Contender Series alum, the Machine, Malcolm Wellmaker. Let's get it right out of the way. I got to ask you about your nickname, the Machine, because there's another guy looming over the division with the same nickname. How did you get that nickname? And if you had a backup nickname, if Merab asked you like, hey, pick something else, what would that nickname be?
My name, the Machine, it actually came from the guy called Pops. You know, he's the one who started Fageless MMA back in 99, and he's like a father figure to me. And I literally was we was cutting weight before my debut kickboxing match in the gym, and he was like, oh, I got it. He was like, you gonna be Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker. And I was like, okay. I wasn't really sold on it, but Pops, I love him so much that, he was excited about it. So I was like, cool, let's do it. And, since then I just kind of ran with it. So that's where it came from. I honestly never thought about if I had a backup nickname, to be real with you, man. I don't know. I always kind of wanted something a little bit, more smooth and slick, but, I never really put enough thought into it. And if Merab asked me to change my name, he'd have to fight me for it. So that's the only way around it, brother.
I was going to say, the way your career's going, maybe down the line we fight for the title and for the nickname.
Yes. Yeah, that would be insane. That'll be probably one of the most memorable, title fights ever if we had that behind it. I'd love it.
Talk to me real briefly about Merab. What do you make of his run in the UFC and the way he's carried himself as a champion?
Yeah, man, I like Merab for many reasons. Obviously, the blue collar background he has is awesome. But when you look at his resume, man, he's fought the best of the best. And even with that being said, the start of his UFC career was really rough, so to see him climb back from taking a couple losses and be able to get to a point to where he fought and has such an unbeaten streak against the top names. And then the way he's beating these guys, I mean, he's entertaining and he's putting on a show and almost embarrassing these guys. And then obviously most recently finishing former champ Sean O'Malley. Huge respect for this guy. And I think that he's actually on a run to make an imprint as possibly one of the GOATs of the bantamweight division.
Almost a year ago today, you won your contract, you win your first 2 fights, 2 back-to-back bonuses, you get to fight in Atlanta near your hometown of Augusta, quit your job. What has it all been like for you, and how have you stayed grounded through the whole process?
Man, I always tell people I had an idea of what my UFC success would look like. Obviously getting some knockouts, maybe getting a little bit of a fan base. But when you look at, what the first, 2 months of my MMA career in the UFC has been like, it just blows out of the water what I was expecting. You know what I mean? Like, the community already is so excited about what I've done and what I'm going to do. My social media following has absolutely exploded. Obviously my management is super happy with what's been done and the trajectory that we're on, man. They're very happy with. So it's crazier than my wildest dreams. I mean, maybe I just wasn't dreaming big enough, but now that I'm here, it's massive. And, I stay grounded because I'm with the same guys I started with. I'm with the same guys that showed me how to throw my first punch, shoot my first double leg takedown. And they always cared about me, my character, and how I was developing as a man as much as I was as an athlete. So as long as I keep those guys around, man, I'll be the same guy I always was.
What's next for you? Because it has been a whirlwind year. The year's winding down a little bit. Have you thought about what an ideal next 12 months for you looks like?
For the rest of the year, I'm definitely fighting. Like, you know what I mean? I have to get back in the cage. Honestly, I live a fighter lifestyle year round. I'm always in shape, only a few weeks away from being able to make weight. So I would love to fight at least one more time, maybe even twice, depending on if the opportunities are good enough. And next year, I want to get a rank next to my name. It's not necessarily 12 months from now, but the 2026 timeline, I want a rank next to my name, and I want on that White House card.
Have you started the process of looking at guys above you and maybe like thinking, hey, I think this guy could be next for me?
Not too much. Obviously I've seen a bunch of the internet talk and stuff like that, and a lot of people ask for Cody Garbrandt, which God forbid, I hope I never have to fight that guy because I love him so much. I love him so much, man. I was a huge fan. I got to meet him and his son at my last fight in Atlanta. He's a great dude, so hopefully that never happens. I see the Aleksandre Topuria name tossed around. That would be amazing. I think that's one that I'm most excited about if it could possibly happen. I don't know if it's close to being done or not, or even if it's a thing, but if it was, man, I would love it. And obviously, man, I think down the line, a super fight for me and Payton Talbott is it has to happen. You know, I think both of us have very similar styles, similar images. We both have so much hype behind us. And to see him come back and show the world that he can grapple was amazing. And I hope to see him continue to be successful. So maybe down the line we could share the cage and maybe even be a main event.
Obviously, Ilia is the talk of the promotion right now. What do you think of him and his performance against Charles?
Ilia, man, another one that's on track to being left as one of the GOATs, man. To become double champ and in the fashion that he's done it, and then the guys that he's fought and put them away early. I mean, he's not going past 2 rounds with these guys. Ilia is incredible. His confidence is amazing. His style is beautiful. To have such clean boxing and be so successful. I really, really, really love what this guy's doing. And also he's an example of what I believe is the pinnacle of martial arts, being very competent on the ground, but being so far ahead of everybody else with the hands that, it doesn't even really matter. So I love what he's doing, and I can't wait to see what's next for him.
I mentioned earlier Dana White Contender Series. It's getting ready to fire back up this year. Can you talk about the importance of that show and what it's meant for you to be an alum? And I mean, so many stars and champions even have come out of that show.
Yeah, 100%. I'm watching it, man. I love watching it. I love seeing the backstories. I love seeing guys go out there and fight to change their life. And, I'm going to be real. When when you go to Contender Series, they fly you out prior to the show for a few days to come out, do media and interviews and do all this photography and stuff. And the experience itself is amazing. I had never been to Vegas. I had never worked with an organization like the UFC. So to get flown out to meet all these different people, get chauffeured around, it was a great experience. And it's something that allows you to soak it in and understand like the weight of the moment in front of you. So, for the guys all going on Contender Series, I hope they really enjoy that moment that they get. And when they go out there and fight, go out there and try to change your life. It's an amazing platform to have. They get to cover your story, and you get to get into the UFC with a fan base already made off of your story. So it's an amazing opportunity, and I love it.
You went viral after you got your second performance bonus, you were able to quit your job. Talk to me about that moment. Were you nervous when you went in it? I mean, I think they probably knew what was coming, right?
Yeah, man. Look, the blue collar support in my city and around the country at this point has always been so solid. Whenever I fight locally, no exaggeration, half of the people there are guys I've been on the job with. They love to come. They love to have some drinks and scream some wild stuff, So the guys I work my job with, they always were supportive of my career. Every day they knew I was leaving work and going straight to the gym. I was coming in tired, late sometimes, They always supported me. So when I fought, they watched me fight. When I kept talking about if I get a 50K bonus, I mean, they knew it, and they was hoping that I got it. All of them want to see one another succeed. So I got it. I came in, and it was a big smile on my face and a smile on theirs too. And it was a good farewell, man. It was a good experience.